Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Rewatch, where we are boldly going to continue our journey watching Star Trek, the original series. My name is Skylar, and this is my best friend, Daniel.
Hello.
Daniel,
Yes.
do you like mobsters or amoebas?
Like, which one do I like better?
Yes.
I guess mobsters. It's a weird. It's a
Why?
weird.
Show your work. Explain yourself.
Amoebas is gross.
Okay. Anyways, let's talk about the first episode, A Piece of the Action.
Right. Okay, so a piece of the action starts while the Enterprise is approaching a planet called Sigma Iota 2, I guess. And will that ever come up again? No, but here we are.
Yeah.
Ahura picks up a transmission from a guy called Oxmix, spelled Oxmyx, cause space, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
Who goes by Boss. They're following up on another ship that I guess had made contact with the planet 100 years ago, but they just got the message like last month because 100 years ago they were using old radio technology to communicate, and that took 100 years for the thing to get back to them. They do at one point say that the ship went missing afterwards, but it does make me wonder, like, it opens a lot of questions about, like, what was the Federation 100 years ago? Like, because it would have had to have taken them at least, if the radio waves are taking 100 years to get back, it would have had to taken them at least 100 years to get the ship out there, right?
Yeah, did they say the radio waves came from the ship? For some reason, I assumed that they meant the radio waves came from the planet, because they're like 1920s and they're still using old technology.
Maybe, but at the time, they said that they said the last time that they had heard from that planet, it wasn't like 1920s, obviously, because it was like just barely the beginning of industrialization.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure Kirk implies at least that the messaging was coming from the Federation ship, because he seemed to say, like, the Horizon, which was the name of the ship, like, we hadn't invented subspace communication yet.
What were they doing all the way out here?
No idea. Because, maybe it was a Voyager situation. They got zip zapped on over to the other side of the universe.
Oh, maybe. It's more likely than you think.
It could happen to you. Do you know where your children are?
On the other side of the galaxy.
Kirk asks where they should beam down, and the guy's like, "Guys, you can beam down to the intersection down by the fire hydrant, eh?"
And Kirk says, okay.
He's like, yeah, man, sounds good.
I do like, after this bit, he's like, well, I'm going on down there, and Bones and Spock, who like just arrive on the bridge, Kirk just grabs them both by the arm, and he's like, we're going somewhere. Come on, get your shoes.
Come on, losers, we're going gambling or whatever.
Come on, you can put your shoes on in the car. We gotta go.
On the way to the transporter, on the turbo lift, which normally we skip this, but we're having an important conversation this time. They talk about how they normally have a non-interference directive, which I guess was broken by the Horizon forever ago, so now it's okay to do it because they have to correct the problem that the Horizon created 100 years ago. To which I'm like, when did this non-interference directive come from? Because it's not the Prime Directive, because you already had that name, and this is not that. This is a different thing. You're calling it a different name, so I have to imply it's a different thing. And also,
probably the same thing.
When have we ever followed it? In a single episode. We destroyed the Apple of Eden guy's entire religion.
Yeah.
We went and talked to the horse people, even though they were very clearly not ready for spaceflight, so that we could get their minerals. Marie. When have we ever been like, we shouldn't interfere in this show? Just today. We invented it today. We didn't have the non-interference directive because we invented it yesterday.
I mean, it seems like a good rule to have, unless we have a mission like today where we just say, fuck it, and we do it anyways.
I mean, they do, because they've brought up it once before, and I think in that episode, they also brought it up to break it. And so I almost wonder if it's like, they only ever talk about it in instances where it's like, well, this is an instance where we have to break it. You know what I mean?
I mean, realistically, when are you ever going to talk about it unless you're about to break it?
Yeah, I guess.
Because if you're not breaking it, you don't have to talk about it.
That's definitely true, but it is like I don't know. It has never felt like it was a thing that they really took seriously in any episode up to this point. The Prime
There,
Directive feels like it wasn't really thought through until at least next gen.
yeah, there will be episodes when we get to next gen where Card is like, we're going to do things this way because of the Prime Directive, and then they're going to live with those choices.
Yeah.
Um, but we don't do that here. We're just like, it's the prep, but fuck it. There's somebody else did something, so we're gonna just we'll do what we want to do.
Why not? We didn't break it this time. Somebody else did, which means now it's
That's
okay for
true.
us to do whatever we want, I guess.
Absolutely.
Anyway, they beam down to that intersection, what that we were talking about earlier, and
Hmm.
looks like this planet is actually Earth from like the 30s or something, when most of the cast would have been born.
Yeah, roughly.
They don't have enough time to really talk. The people who beam down, by the way, Kirk, Spock, and Bones,
Just the three, the big three.
the power couple, the thruple.
Yeah.
They don't have time to really think about it though, because they are immediately accosted by some Seas with Tommy guns who take their
Man,
phasers and talk all kinds of weird whack shit at them.
when I say every man on this street, I mean every man on this street
Every single
has a
one.
Tommy gun.
Yeah.
And I
And
do have to put emphasis on man on the street because the women do not have
the
Tommy
women do
guns.
not. It is assumed that they are carrying derringers like in their purse or something.
Probably,
It
or
is
strapped to their thigh.
assumed by
Actually,
me.
I they do have holsters. Some of the women.
So hey,
Yeah, there you go. I didn't
we all
even
got our heaters
realize
on.
that. I didn't recognize that upon my first watch, but I've got it open right here. And those two floozies that walk up and start talking about how they need their laundry picked up and they pay rent here. They've got full on holsters with pistols in them.
Nice. The two guys who held him up and took their phasers are trying to take him to go meet the boss, which, like, he asked him to come down. You probably didn't need to hold him at gunpoint, but whatever. On the way there, they are first attacked by some of, quote, Krako's guys who kill
Mm.
one of the two people who are holding Kirk hostage, Kirk and team hostage.
Just violently guns him down in a drive-by. It's crazy. It made me think for a second. I was like, "Whoa, is that the most violent thing?" No, we've seen people
No,
get disintegrated.
yeah.
It's just their bullets this time. So There's really no actual difference. But
We saw her get hit so hard she forgot how to talk one time.
oh my God, that's true.
And then immediately after, as if they don't give a shit that someone just died in front of them, two ladies, like you said, walk up and are like, "Hey man, when's boss Ozempic gonna go and fix the
Mhm.
street lights and get our laundry picked up? Is nasty out here." And I was like, this town does look disgusting. I wonder what disgusting real world city it's based
I know
on.
where you're going with this. I know. I know. Your feud
Eventually,
continues.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. They make it to Boss Osmix's place, where he jumps up so that he can performatively play pool before they walk in.
That's right.
He needs to
And
look
and
like he
and,
wasn't waiting for them, I guess.
and he's playing it wrong.
I mean,
I I don't know.
that's how they play it on Sigma Iota too.
I don't know if that's on purpose, but he's hitting just the balls. He's not hitting the cue ball.
He's having fun. He's just having a
Yeah,
good time.
sure. Why not?
Who's gonna tell him he's wrong? He's the boss.
He should have done that thing that kids do where they don't use the stick, they just roll it.
Oh yeah. When they get into Boss Osmic, I'm never gonna remember his name.
No, that's fine.
They get into Ozempic's house,
Mhm.
they've also Spock finds a book called Gangs of Chicago that the Horizon crew left behind and has apparently become these people's Bibles, and so that's why everything's shit because they've based themselves on Chicago and not even the musical that's fun to watch.
Hmm. This is just what Chicago's like.
This is just what Chicago's like. That's why you don't see the sports teams because they're all shit.
And the Bears are leaving.
And the and the Bears are leaving and the Cubs are shit and the Bulls haven't been good since the 80s.
They
Anyway,
got two baseball teams. What the fuck? All right, we're getting off
but
topic.
it don't matter. Boss Osmix explains that his name's Bella. I'm gonna call him Bella. His first
Yeah,
name.
Bela Lugosi.
Bella Lugosi explains he has that. No, that was gonna be the guy from Triskelion because he was a vampire.
That's true. He was scary. All right, just call him Bella.
Explains he was.
Just tell this guy, hold on tight, Spider Monkey, and take him on
Yeah.
an
Whoa.
adventure.
What's up,
Or
Loka?
We're off the rails. Here we go.
Boss explains that he's the biggest boss. He's got the biggest territory on the planet, and he's like, there's like roughly 12 others, and then a bunch of smaller guys and whatever. We split up the planet into a bunch of territories, and I'm the big boss man guy. That's all we need to know.
Cool.
He wants Kirk to give them heaters, by which he means guns, phasers,
Mm-hmm.
so that he can, I guess, take over the rest of the world. He never expressly says that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
We're getting the vibe here. The rest of the world. The world has as much like size and depth as like a Kingdom Hearts map. You know, you just drop down. It's like 4 screens, four
Yeah.
stages.
Yeah.
That's the world. So when he says he'll take over the world, everyone on this planet lives in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, everyone lives in Chicago, so everyone lives in squalor. Kirk refuses, of course, and so they take him, Bones, and Spock hostage, and Bella calls up the Enterprise, which is honestly pretty funny. He's got the communicator, he doesn't really know how it works, and he calls up, but he's like looking up into presumably his ceiling to talk to the Enterprise. Him and, I should mention, because it's going to come up later, the lady who's just sitting on his desk like a lamp.
Mm-hmm. That's what she does here.
She's the lamp lady, the lamplighter. He gives his demands to Scotty, but Scotty doesn't know what a heater is, so he has to go and look it up.
I legitimately thought he was going to send them like heating lamps,
electric blankets and shit.
What are they called? What are the Japanese tables with blankets called?
Oh fuck. Tatami? No, not tatami. Those are the mats. Fuck. I don't know, man. Is it even with a T?
I do. It's kotatsu.
Kotatsu.
Which explains why and I'm gonna say you as well, wanted to call it tonkatsu, but knew it was wrong because
tonkatsu ramen. We're fucking stupid.
They both warm you in a way.
Sure. Yeah. Why not? One from the inside, one from the outside. Meanwhile, in holding. Holding is a strong word. They're in a large room where 3 goons are playing cards, and Kirk, Bones, and Spock are just kind of like over in a corner, I guess, being held prisoner, but not really.
I did take note of the fact that other than not being able to communicate with Scotty, there's nothing stopping them from beaming us up. Like,
right.
Yeah, he would need to get a lock on us. We would need to tell him, like, hey, beep. And that, spoilers, that does happen in a minute. But I was just like, oh no, we're in danger. We're not really in danger, like, that much.
I guess the danger...
We could get out of this.
Well, no, I was going to say, I guess the danger would be that Scotty doesn't know, like... Scotty doesn't know. Fiona and me. He doesn't know, like, that they're in danger, but no, he does know that, because Bella just told him. So never mind. I guess maybe have they made it clear that you can tell different people apart with the scanner before you do it?
No, I don't think they have made that clear.
So that must be tough.
And so when we get to next gen, the communicators and like it's the badge right. on the chest, the Starfleet symbol,
which means they always have communications and it never fails, right?
They would. Probably not. They would, but in this instance, if it was that Enterprise crew, they would have been beamed out immediately. They'd be like, "Well, all right, we're just getting them out of there."
Maybe that's why they changed it to being inside the badges.
Because of this, because
exactly
the captain's log changed history.
Yeah.
Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Anyway, so they're in holding, sort of, kinda, and these guys are playing cards, and they're talking about how unfortunate it is that this planet got turned into the worst city in the world, Chicago. Mm-hmm. And they plan on how to escape. And Kirk goes to join the card game. And this part triggered me a little bit.
Okay.
He starts talking to them. He's like, okay, yeah. Oh, the game that you guys are playing, it's like a baby game. Me from space, I'm a spaceman. And we in space, we play a game called Fizbin. And Spock's like, that's not a real game. And he's like, shut the fuck up, Spock. Yeah. And then he starts being like, okay, so in Fizbin, he's not talking like this. He talks like this later. He's like, all right, so in Fizbin, you want a jack, and then you want a second jack, but only if it's Tuesday or if the lights are out. Otherwise, you want a queen or some shit, or you want a deuce if it's Wednesday. And it's like the way that these stupid fucking rules were breaking down, because he's making them up on the spot, obviously, to intentionally try and be confusing, is just what I deal with at work all day.
Oh.
where it's like, oh, how do we do this thing at work? Well, okay, so normally we do it like this, unless it's the second Tuesday of the third month of the fifth year, in which case that means that this tax code means that we have to do it this way. And if the paperwork came from the north, then we have to do it this way, and if it came from the south, then we have to do it that way. And if you're facing left at the time that you do this, then you have to. It's fucking bullshit, and it genuinely feels like everyone's making it up on the spot. And that's what I do 40 hours a week, and that's why I'm the way I am.
Mm. You were like this before you had that job. Don't lie.
I'm getting worse.
Oh, okay. we're all getting a little worse.
I'm getting worse.
I'll throw in the quick, an obvious joke, like this is what it's like when your friend tries to teach you Magic the Gathering or something.
Yeah.
But I'll also say, since we're spending so much time on the topic of Kirk just saying bullshit, one of my fun facts for this episode is none of that was scripted. Shatner was just going. Yeah.
And you can tell because as soon as he gets tired of the bit, he flips the table.
I did, yeah, as I was, writing the notes, I was like, okay, Kirk's gonna bullshit his way into...
Oh, never mind.
Probably just punching him in the face. And then that's exactly what he does.
He goes on this bit seemingly just for him, because at the second he sat down, he could have flipped the table and it would have been the same thing. So there's three guys at the table. He flips it, so it like goes up into one guy's face. Spock pinches another guy, and then he just punches the third guy because, like, he's Kirk. He can do that. And I'm just like, you didn't have to go on the like minute and a half explanation of Fizbin or whatever the fuck. Like, it did make me wonder, in like Trekkie fandom, like real Trekkies, like the deep shit guys.
Have they invented Fizbin?
Yeah, is because the real fuckers. Like, I know that 3D chess became a real game that people play, and I know that like that stupid version of rock paper scissors from Big Bang Theory became a real thing. Did Fizbin become a real thing?
Whoa, hang on.
Now you got to be careful, because there's a D&D book called Fizbin's Dragon something the fuck, where they talk about the dragons. So you got to not get that one if you're Googling it.
I don't think they've tried to make it a real game, but it does get referenced again in the later Star Trek.
Sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they beat up the guys, and Kirk tells Spock and Bones to get a communicator and try and beam back up to the Enterprise. But Kirk wants to go and grab Oxmix Bella so that he can take him with him up to the ship for some reason. I don't actually know why he wanted to do that, but he wants to.
My first thought, because they all grabbed guns, I said, yeah, right. Like Bones knows what to do with a Tommy gun.
But don't worry, the second they split up, Kirk gets nabbed by a goon and loaded into a car. So, oops, uh-oh.
If we count the times people are just getting captured, our heroes are getting captured, this is the second time already that Kirk's been captured.
Like in this episode?
Yeah. It's going to happen 4 more times.
Well, he's only... Oh, yeah. He gets captured a lot. He's really good at it. Spock and Bones go into a room where there's a lady working a radio, and Spock just like knocks her out immediately. He gives her the Vulcan neck pinch, so at least it's not a violent way to knock her out, presumably. Which
is why it was invented.
Yes, because otherwise Bones would just have to punch another lady, which he's okay with.
And he would do.
Yeah. Spock, so far, only one here who has... No, that's wrong. He has beat up my lady. I mean, she was a salt vampire, but we've all hit women.
Yeah, but he... What?
We've all hit women here. All of our big three have punched a woman.
Yes. All right, we'll put it that way. Yeah. The word "we" kind of scares me, but you Jonathan Majors? No, go on.
Spock then, he knocks out the lady, and he tries to call up to the ship, which after a quick gag where he's like, yes, of course, I know how this radio thing works, and then he doesn't, and he instead ties into like a baseball game, I assume it was. They are able to do just that, and her is like, why are you contacting me on a radio? Whatever, dude. And she beams him up, or presumably tells Kyle to beam him up. Kirk then gets brought into Boss Crocco's office, who also has a lady sitting on his desk, so I guess that's just what we do in 1920 Space Chicago.
It's an official position on the roster.
The desk girl.
Yeah.
They didn't understand what a secretary was.
No, it's the girl on the desk.
Uh,
You have something to deliver to me, you give it to the girl on the desk.
when they walk in, Krako is badly throwing darts over his shoulder at a picture of Osmix, and he misses, but then he throws a second one from really close up so that he doesn't miss.
Yeah, I kind of like this guy, actually. This,
He
just,
also,
just spend all day in your office throwing darts at posters of your ops.
I
It's
wrote
fun.
this about him. I said he looks like the captain of the starbase from Xenon, and he talks like a cartoon frog.
Okay, the frog thing. Yeah, I don't remember the Xenon guy.
He marries Aunt Judy
Okay,
in the purple clothes.
now we're cooking with gas. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
all right.
I don't remember his name. And it's important that we point out. So Bella Osmix and whatever Krako's first name is have very different but both incredibly stereotypical gangster voices.
Yeah, everybody does. And
Bella's got like a hey, that's pretty good. And then Krako's like, hey, I gotta you can't refuse. That's wrong. But
and
he's like gruffer.
yeah, that sounded like a Star Wars accent.
He's like yeah, I went into Watto. No, he's like we gotta put him on ice.
Yeah. Shatner throughout this episode, he falls into parody of both himself and 20s gangsters, where he's doing a full Shatner like, yeah, see,
Yeah.
it's
And it's
it's
coming. It's
something to
real
behold.
soon.
This is a comedy episode, folks.
It
In case you haven't caught on to that.
it is, but it's not as funny as Tribbles, and I'll just say that now.
Oh well, that's just because it had that guy. Tribbles had that guy, that one guy.
Tribbles had that guy, and it had that other guy off screen throwing the Tribbles at the back of Shatner's head,
That's true.
which
So it
was
had two
my
guys.
favorite bit, frankly.
Hmm.
So okay, Krako also wants phasers, but he's willing to give Kirk, get this, a piece of the action.
Ooh, that's the name of the episode.
Kirk still says no, so they lock him in a Resident Evil safe room,
Hmm.
which I said because there was a typewriter on the desk.
That's good. You can hear the music.
He then immediately busts open what I thought was a radio, but then he doesn't use it as a radio. He instead sets up a wire from it as a tripwire, and then he does a
Yay.
full he does a full Tomcat from Tom and Jerry. He like slams a thing on the ground. He goes, "Help me! Help me!"
Oh no. He's making a little Home Alone tripwire trap.
And then two guys come running in, and they get boyoinged over the rope, and then he knocks him out. He does do a bit here that I think is really funny because it's clearly not it's supposed to have gone this way. He tries to like wrap a blanket around one guy's head and just fucks it up like twice in a row, and then he just like fuck it, and he goes for an uppercut instead. And all I can think is like, oh, this is like 80s WWF where you like fucked up the bit, but you're still supposed to be the big guy, so you're just like, ah, fuck it. Like I fell off the rope, so I'm just gonna punch you instead.
We only have time for one take.
Yeah. This is really funny. Then back on the Enterprise, Bella calls up to the Enterprise where Spock and Bones now are. And he tells Spock that Crock'll put the bag on Kirk and they're gonna scrag him. So Spock's like, huh? He's like, they kidnapped him and they're gonna shoot him. And he's like, oh. So Spock agrees to, for some reason, beam back down so they can talk about it because, we can't talk about it over the phone like we're doing already. And when they do, him and Bones are immediately put back at gunpoint and have their phasers taken again.
Yep, another capture on the record.
And Bella makes a joke about he's like, we could do this a couple more times. I'll have all the phasers I need already. Hey, capiche? And I'm like, yeah, I think you're at what, like 5 now?
He's right.
But don't worry, Kirk, recently escaped, comes in and makes a couple of dudes get naked.
Go on, elaborate.
He puts him. Nope, that's the whole story. He puts him at gunpoint, and he's like, he's not doing the voice yet, but he's like, hey, these suits, these are good material. You want to give me these suits? Hey. And it's just so that him and Spock can play dress up.
Gangster disguises, we like it.
They put on the suits. They look, frankly, they look good. It's a surprise that they fit because clearly the both of the goons are like a foot shorter than Spock.
Is it weird that Kirk's fedora, trilby, what is it? It's his hat.
Yeah,
it's like fuzzy.
It's felt. Yeah,
I don't like that.
You can tell the difference between, and I picked this up later, but you can tell the difference between Krako's guys and Bella's guys because Krako's guys have those like straw gamblers hats, and then Bella's guys all have the felt hats. So, that's how we identify gangs in this universe is by what kind of hat you wear. Go too far south, you get the 10-gallon guys.
Oh, see, I want to see that gang.
Yeah. Anyway, he makes him strip so that he can play dress up because he wants to go put the bag on Krako. He wants to go kidnap him.
Hmm.
And there's a bit where Kirk, being of course a spaceman, has to learn how to drive a car, and it's a stick shift, and he doesn't know how to drive it, despite the fact that he's, you know, I really thought that they were going to do a thing where it's like, well, Kirk is like, he's a man, he's a tough man, of course he knows how to drive stick, like, of course, naturally.
No, 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 no.
But no, he's just bad at it, and I honestly respect them for making him
Yeah,
bad at something.
I'll shoot straight with you. I can't drive a fucking stick shift.
I've never attempted, but I'm pretty sure I
No,
can't.
why would you? Why would we know?
Under
Why would
what
we know?
under what circumstance would I ever be like, yeah, you know what I want to drive? A bad car.
And all you Gen Xers out there, like, oh, I grew up. My first car was a stick shift. I
Yeah.
had to know how to do it. I'm better than you. Well, you know what? No, you're not. Although we are better than Gen Z. We do know the
We do.
things
We
that
all
we
know
grew
that.
up with was
Yeah.
better than what they grew up with.
Yeah. And I
but
don't
you're
understand the
but,
music
but
anymore.
you before me, you're not better. But me before them, that is better.
Right.
Okay?
I before E,
And
except after me.
and you take that to fucking heart. And I mean it too.
Yeah. Fuck your stick shift, and fuck you for actually getting
Fuck your stick shift. Fuck your tablet, iPad, baby face. Get out of here. Fuck off. Everyone except for us is bad. We're cool. We're the right ones.
clearly millennials are the right guys.
We were the correct. Well, we watched.
We've never
SpongeBob.
done anything wrong. Don't make fun of us for how when we start a TikTok video, we have a pause before it. Shut up. When we first got onto the internet, you had to because the shit didn't start immediately when you hit the record button. Don't worry about it. Shut up.
TikTok is bad. We're good though.
We're perfect. Anyway, they start trying to figure out how to get to Krakow. And they're like, well, we're dressed like goons. We should be able to just like walk in. They should let us in. They won't be suspicious at all. And then they look over and they're checking a baby carriage to see if there's a goon in it, I guess. And they're like, no, this won't work. This isn't going to work. We're going to need to find another way. But don't worry. A charming little cock robin ass cut purse kid comes walking up and is like, "What? How you doing, misters?
Yeah. Christian Bale from Newsies runs up.
How you doing, misters? Would you like me to help you get into Krako's place? I see you got a gun. You must be trying to get into Krako's place. I'm the Deus Ex child."
There's a bit too where because this little kid's like brandishing a knife, like a switchblade.
Yeah.
He's like, "Look, I'm tough," and Kirk tries to get all Bugsy Malone with this kid and be like, "You little fucking, you get out of here. You don't know." And this kid's like, "I do know," and he's got the knife. And Kirk's like, all right.
Oh, shit. No, take it
We're
easy,
cool.
bud. Hey, whoa.
I didn't
Take it easy, kid. Who am I thinking of? The voice that I keep doing. I keep thinking of that guy. Who's that comedian with the bug out eyes who died like 20 years ago?
With the bug out eyes.
He was in Caddyshack. He's a white guy.
Oh, Rodney Dangerfield.
Yep. That's the voice I keep hearing in my head.
All right. Yeah, that's appropriate. We'll take it.
Anyway, the kid is like, hey, they like offer him a piece of the action because, hey, that's what we're doing today.
That's the name of the episode.
And, hey, lock him up. And he's like, all right, I'm in. I'm sorry. All right, I'm in, mister. And he goes on over to the two goons that are standing in front of Krako's place, and he's like, pretends to stab him, which is like interesting opening gambit, buddy.
he just fully spazzes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like starts swinging his knife around, like before he even gets to the guys too. He's just like swinging his knife, like play fighting, shadow boxing.
Maybe that's
cute.
He gets
up to the guys,
you know.
He gets up to the guys. He's like, "I'm gonna fucking get you. I'm gonna fucking," and then he just drops to the ground like, "Oh, I'm hurt,
Yeah.
Daddy, Daddy, help,
Daddy, help." He does a full like soccer flop. He just pretends to have been hurt.
Yeah.
And two terrible things: soccer and Chicago in the same episode. Oof.
Oh, soccer's not as bad as Chicago. You give it as.
I'll give you that. They get into Krako's place. Anyway, they run up and they're like, my kid. And then they just knock him out. They just punch him, which, like, frankly, they probably could have just walked up and punched him. I feel like they would have gotten away with it.
If this kid swinging a knife at them didn't get shot, you guys could have strolled up and not got shot.
They get into Krako's place and they stun two more guys with their phasers, but it doesn't work because, shocker, inside this crime boss house, there's more than two dudes. So two other guys show up behind him and have guns, and they're like, fuck, guess we're caught again.
Caught again.
Kirk, this is where he starts putting on the stupid voice that I've been doing for the whole episode so far, because it's fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
he starts schmoozing Krako. He's like, "Yeah, you know, we're the Space Federation. You know, we're looking for a guy to take over, and then they will pull the puppet strings because we can't be hanging out on this planet all the time. We gotta we gotta get guys to do the shit so that we'll take a piece of the action because that's the name of the episode, I guess."
It is the name of the episode. This we know.
But it seems like it's working a little bit, and then it falls apart, and so they just beam him up. They just beam him up to the planet, or up to the Enterprise, and then fortunately, instead of shooting Kirk and Spock, the guards run over to be like, "Where'd he go?" And then they go, they run up and punch the two guards and knock them out, and they're like, "Oh, I guess that worked." When he gets up to the ship, he meets Scotty, who was on the phone earlier, so he, I guess, recognizes the voice. And Scotty, not enjoying the situation as much as Kirk, but certainly still enjoying it, threatens to put him in concrete galoshes. And he's like, "You mean cement overshoes?" He's like, "Yeah,
Close enough.
sure,
Yeah.
man." I don't know. It's the future times. I don't know, man. I didn't read the book that someone left. And then we get a really funny bit, actually, that I wasn't expecting to see. The perspective of the knocked out goons waking up later. The knocked out goons in Krako's place wake up and they're like, "Ah, shit, we got knocked out again. Why we keep getting knocked out?"
That is funny. Like he says not again. It's like, ah. All right,
They're like,
we don't get to see that usually.
and the goon who like probably has a name, but I didn't write it down. I'm gonna call him Head Goon. Head Goon is like, "I got an idea. We're gonna go and we're gonna hit up Bella Osmix's place and we're gonna get our guy back or something." I don't know. I guess I don't know. They're just like, "Round up the guys. We're gonna go shoot up the other place. The only other building that we have a set for. We're gonna go shoot that place."
Mm-hmm.
Kirk and Spock, meanwhile, have gone back to exactly that place, to Bella's mansion or whatever, where Bones has been holding Bella and the entire staff of this office hostage since they made those guys strip earlier. I should have said that at the time, but he's been doing that. Kirk, now fully in character for nobody, is now calling Bones Sawbones and Spock Spocko.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's
That's
cute.
It's a good bit. He just immediately rolls into it.
He's
and the fact that Spock plays along and does a little accent. Come on.
I don't understand why. It's just further proof that he just doesn't like Chekhov. Because the last, like, a couple episodes ago, when Chekhov was like making a joke about, "Oh, we'll be so close we can smell the Klingons" or whatever, and he was like, "That doesn't make sense. That's illogical." But now he's like, "Hey, see, I'm Spocko, bitch," or whatever.
Yeah, he can only narrow in on his close inner circle.
Yeah.
He understands his captain. He understands his doctor. He has time for no one else.
Kirk has now fallen so far into the bit that every time he calls up to the Enterprise to explain shit, he has to then stop doing the bit and explain it a second time in English.
We've gone. We're full parody now. We've reached our zenith.
But basically, the plan is this: they're gonna have Bella Lugosi Osmix call all of the other bosses, and then they're gonna lock into the radio signal, I guess, of the other end of the phone, and then beam those bosses here so that we can have all the bosses in one place.
I'm sure that'll be fine.
And so they all
Nothing
do that.
bad will happen. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the first guy just like basically has a panic attack and is okay with it, and then we cut and everyone's here and we're just arguing and Kirk's up on the pool table like holding court for some reason.
Pretty good. You know, it made me realize if someone could do this in real life, in our world,
with our real crime bosses,
with our real evil people, but they get to a bit where everyone in the room, although basically been shown like we have the power just to put you anywhere on the planet we want.
Yeah.
So you're going to talk this out because we're stronger than you. They still, after deliberation, are too stupid to listen.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, wait a minute. We only saw these 3 guys and like 3 other guys upstairs. Wait, I don't trust that you can. You know what? Fuck you, actually.
Fuck you, dude.
And that's exactly our real life leadership would also be too stupid to listen.
Oh, incredibly.
Since
yeah,
they would be. In fact, I think even the next bit where they do what is essentially this episode's version of dropping the A bomb on Hiroshima,
Okay, all right, a little sure.
a show of force
The closest thing to that I
to
think
such
Kirk
a
would do.
degree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no one actually dies, of course.
Yes, yes,
Let's
yes.
get that out there. But it's a show of force to such a degree that you look and you're like, "Are you ready to stand down now?"
They're like, ah,
And
fuck.
then they do.
Yeah.
But in real life they wouldn't. Is all I'm saying.
No, not our guys.
Mm-mm.
So okay, so they start having that conversation, the one that you were talking about, where they're like, ah, fuck you, you're only 6 guys or whatever. And then Krako's guys start attacking. So Kirk has Scotty set the Enterprise's phasers to stun, which is, I guess we can do that, and
Yeah.
blast the entire block,
Yes.
which knocks out all the goons outside while the collective bosses are watching. And he's like, "Yeah, get fucked."
Technically speaking, right before the stun bit,
Yeah.
we got captured one last time.
Oh sure.
That was
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had to hand over their weapons and everything. So it's
That counts.
I
That
wrote
counts.
in my notes, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
So basically the plan is this. Kirk is like, hey, he's still doing the like, hey, we're the Federation, we're the big gang. And he's like, so we're gonna take control of the whole thing, but we're gonna put a guy in charge. And they're like, oh, is it gonna be you? And he's like, no, it's gonna be Bella. And so Bella's gonna be in charge, and we're gonna take 40% off the top, and then you guys are gonna be a crime syndicate that runs the whole planet. And they're like, yeah, all right. At first they're like, Bella wants him to do it, and then as soon as Kirk's like, no, I want you to do it, Bella's like, oh, this is a great idea.
This seems like such a non-permanent solution.
It's a terrible idea, which they talk about later and then they don't really do anything about.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they do that, they go back to the Enterprise, and Spock has the exact same problem that I assume you have with it. He's like, hey, we just left a crime syndicate in charge of an entire planet, and also like, how are we going to tell the Federation that we need to send a ship over here to collect our like bounty, our crime bounty every year? And Kirk is like, don't worry, we're going to use the 40% cut to invest in like charities basically on the planet to make it not a crime planet.
He kind of just said, "We'll topple the government later."
Yeah. Well, hey, we're gonna do a regime change through like kindness.
That's nuts.
And then also they don't do fuck all about it, but their Bones is like, oh no, I left my communicator down there. They're gonna take it apart and figure out Federation tech.
He left his cell phone behind.
Yeah, now the cave people have my fucking cell phone. I call them cave people because they're from Chicago.
I see. I see.
And they
Because bears live in caves.
because
I get
bears
you.
live in caves. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's soon Indianapolis or whatever, Indiana, whatever the fuck they're going.
Don't.
Get fucked, Bears. Get fucked, Bears fans. Unsubscribe if you're a Chicago guy. I'm just kidding. Don't.
No,
We
no,
need
no,
you.
no,
Don't
no,
do
no,
it.
no,
Don't do
no,
it. Don't
no.
do it. Don't do it.
I like your baseball teams, despite what Daniel says.
Yeah. Get fucked. But they don't do it. So they've had the entire culture of this planet set up by a book that somebody left behind 100 years ago. Now they've left them with like, they've just like given a a cell phone to people who have barely got electricity at this point. It feels like, and they're like, it's probably fine. We don't need to circle back and go get that communicator. And instead, they just make a joke out of it. And Kirk's like, soon they're gonna have all this stuff, and then they're gonna take a piece of our action, and then the episode ends
On a literal freeze frame.
skip wet boom. But presumably because everyone was just busting such a gut that they couldn't have it be any way
Yes.
else.
I guess.
Anyway, you got any trivia for me about that time that we were gangsters in space?
So here's a funny bit about the ending of the episode.
Yeah.
Marvel Comics published a line of Star Trek stories called Star Trek Unlimited.
Hey.
And in it, there's a sequel story to this episode.
Whoa.
It's called A Piece of the Reaction.
Uh-oh.
And it's not this crew, it is the crew from Next Gen. It's actually after I think it's set after the movie First Contact, so it's spoilers, it's not even the same Enterprise. Like, the ship is different.
Okay.
But regardless, they come back here, and wouldn't you know it, the technology and culture of this planet has gone on and modeled itself after the 23rd century Starfleet because McCoy left behind a communicator.
That's pretty funny, actually.
And I don't know how the timeline works out on this. I don't know how old this fucking kid would be by now, but they meet the kid, the street urchin, with the pocket knife.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, in charge or something. He hijacks, or he wants to hijack the Enterprise, and take control because his dream is to command a starship, just like his idol, his hero, that guy he met on the street one time, James Tiberius Kirk.
Whose name I don't think he ever even got.
No, no, but that's what happened. So
Why?
I couldn't
Why
tell you
not?
if that's a good comic book, but it's a comic book that exists, and that's fun.
And we love that about it. It's
Um, there's a
ecstasy.
there's a bit where we hear, it's that bit where Spock and Bones are fiddling with the radio to try to call Uhura, and they tune into something, some crazy bullshit. Well,
It's like a yeah.
the announcer on that bullshit was James Doohan.
Oh wow.
This is the only episode of Star Trek TOS that ends in a freeze frame. Good, I would say, because that's weird.
It is weird.
I already talked about how Kirk was making up Fizbin as he went along, and like the reactions that he got from Spock and Bones just staring at him confused were genuine.
No, did they not even know he was gonna make some shit up?
No, he just went for it.
Why not?
Um, this is the only time that we have seen, and I think will see, that the Enterprise's phaser cannons can be set to stun.
Makes sense. Why not?
It's also the only time that the phasers are used for a wide proximity shot instead of just one thing. And here's the most fun fact of all the fun facts: the car that Kirk drives poorly through the streets, it on the front has the logo to say that it has a V12 engine,
Okay.
and it's Cadillac, so it's a reference to the same car that Al Capone drove. Capone drove a 1928 V12 Cadillac, and this was probably around like the 30s Cadillac.
Sure. Yeah, that's I guess that's the car for the gangsters. Why not?
I don't know who's getting that reference watching this on TV.
Maybe in the 60s that was like a thing, you know?
You're closer to the time. So
Yeah.
sure, that's definitely
Their
possible.
cultural touchstones right now are like Marilyn Monroe and James Dean. Like they don't have as much going on.
Well, and James Dean wasn't even around that long. He died.
So
Yeah. All right, that was a piece of the action. Daniel, did you like a piece of the action?
I did. I did, but I don't know if I'm gonna give it an engage or not because I feel like it is sort of in the
It's
like it's a really fucking stupid episode, and it feels out of place in a way that I don't super care for. It is funny. I enjoyed watching it, but I do still think I'm
mhm.
gonna give it an illogical, which I
it's
don't feel great about.
it had me until the very end,
Yeah, exactly.
because they didn't even really solve the problem. They solved a problem. They solved like war in the streets. They stopped that,
For now.
and they didn't, like, the culture is just what it is now
Yeah, it's just
until it
Chicago.
changes. Until it changes because of a mistake we also made and didn't fix.
Yeah. And we don't even find
So
out that that happened until a comic book that may or may not be canon.
that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's a
Um,
fun watch. Like I enjoy it. I
it is
like I
fun.
like
It
seeing
is
them run
fun.
around with their Tommy guns and do. But it's just
I'd
like
be If I was
yeah.
watching this with someone who's never seen Trek, I'd be like, "Oh, this is the one where they're gangsters. It's so stupid. Let's watch it." Um, but I don't, I don't know if I can give it. I think it's kind of bad technically, and it's also, the thing that we've made fun of multiple times before, where it's just like, oh well, we had access to a different film shoots, like wardrobes and stuff and sets, so we're just gonna do that because it saves us a little bit of money,
Yeah. So are you all? What are you giving it? You didn't actually say.
probably illogical, but I liked it. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. It is a fun one. It's just not. I don't think it's representative of like what I want Star Trek to be.
No. That takes us to the next episode, the immunity syndrome.
Woo. Get this. We're back on the Enterprise.
Oh, cool. And you know what? We're not really gonna leave it because this is a bottle episode.
We're in a ship. We spent all of our budget on suits and Tommy guns.
Yeah.
And we're going to Starbase 6 for some rest. I don't know if this canonically takes place right after the previous episode, but they're like, we just had a long mission. And it's like, yeah, you got captured like 20 times, so that makes sense that you would need some rest.
I was gonna say, sure. We don't know necessarily what happened the day before this, whether it was the mobsters ordeal or whatever.
Yeah.
But chronologically, the way we've been watching, they're like, "Oh man, we're so beat to shit. We need R&R." Like, you guys just had shore leave on the Tribbles episode. We like just did that.
Right. Yeah. Well, what you didn't see is that between the last episode and this one, it turned into like a Star Trek Discovery episode, and they were just at war for like three
Oh
days. We killed
God,
Kirk killed like 30,000 Klingons in the
and I
last two
believe it.
days.
I believe he's done it too.
Yeah, and one Vulcan, but he didn't mean to, and
Oh
he'll hold
well,
that with him forever.
accidents happen.
Yeah. Anyway, on the way to the base, Uhura gets a message that she can't quite make out, and she says that it says something about the Intrepid, which is a Vulcan-manned Federation ship, but it's too garbled to make anything out. And then, before we can really address that, Spock starts like grabbing his head and freaking out, like he heard a really like he's heard a really bad sound that's hurting his head or something. He
Yeah.
feels a disturbance in the Sporce, is what I wrote in my notes.
Hmm.
Of course, I mean the Spock force.
Yeah, of course.
And he says,
Of course.
it's as though 1,000 voices were screaming out and suddenly went silent.
Yeah. He does actually say the voices were screaming out, and you had to remind yourself, this is almost a full decade before Star Wars.
Star Wars did not exist until 77.
So that's crazy. George Lucas, you hack.
You son of a bitch. Anyway, he says that he could feel the Intrepid get destroyed and all 400 Vulcans on board die. Which is
That sucks.
we just keep giving Spock new powers. It's kind of crazy. I guess this like is part of the mind meld shit. Like it's in that
Yeah.
ballpark.
Vulcans are very spiritual.
We
and
got
they
brain
have this
power.
connection thing going on, and
Every individual Vulcan is like 1% of a Jean Grey.
yeah. Well, 1% might be too strong, even. Like
Maybe
0.5%.
she is pretty strong. That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kirk orders him to sickbay because he's like, hey, you're freaking out, and also like clearly distressed. Then they get another call from, I guess, the Starbase that orders them to go to the solar system where the Intrepid was supposed to be to investigate why they lost contact, not just with the Intrepid, but with the entire solar system.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy, but then we don't really have time to talk about that because Chekhov then looks through a scanner and says, the sun is dead.
Oh.
And then we get our intro. Ooh, a bunch of Vulcans died, and an entire solar system is dead. And now our very already tired crew has to go and solve this problem.
Well, that sucks.
They're like, it was supposed to be. I wasn't even supposed to come to work today.
I know. Hey, we're short-staffed tonight. Damn, that sucks. Good luck, though.
In sickbay, Bones is looking at Spock, and he says that he feels fine now. But they don't really talk a ton about it, but they're kind of like they discuss how it's weird that Spock could feel the death of all those people.
Mm-hmm.
And Bones like kind of seems to not believe it, and then there's like a weird exchange where Spock says something about like it's easier for humans to believe the death of one person than a million people. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's easier to kill one person than a million people.
That's true too.
So I'm not really sure what the argument was, but like, I don't know. Spock was just upset, which he's not supposed to be, I guess, technically, because he's not supposed to have emotions. But fuck it, here we are.
He's got that half-human side. He's. It happens.
He's had a rough day. He's tired, and 400 people just died, like in his brain. So anyway, they scan. Ooh.
I was gonna say it's not this exact scene. Obviously, it may have been right before. I went down a rabbit hole.
Ooh.
Because I got really upset. Not really upset, but I got mildly annoyed.
Sure.
Because once again, Sulu's not here.
No, he's not, and he's gonna be glad he wasn't.
And I said that's true. That's absolutely true. I said, where the fuck is my helmsman, my boy, one of my favorite characters on here for some reason?
Kyle. Well, they call him Kyle, but I actually don't think that that's actually transmission chief or transporter chief Kyle. I think
there's two Kyles. There's two Kyles. Maybe they're brothers.
And they were brothers.
And they were roommates. Anyways, I said, where is Sulu? I need to get to the bottom of this. So I did a little investigating. Turns out, when this season was in production, George Takei was filming a John Wayne movie called The Green Berets. So
I've never heard of that movie.
Me neither. But that's why, presumably, George Takei is not in... He's in sporadic episodes throughout this season. I did look it up. He's in... Of, like, the 72 I think like 70, not including the pilot, maybe.
Sure.
He's in 51 episodes.
So still most of
So
them.
they're gonna and he's in all the movies, spoilers, but they're gonna load him in a lot more in season 3, I would hope. Because I was like, when was the last time we actually saw Sulu?
It's been a
And
minute.
it feels like it's been a while that we record these kind of not all back to back, so
Sure.
that might
But
do
it's been
something
at
to it. But
least 4 episodes,
yeah, I think
including this one.
I looked up like the list of episodes that he was in, and I kind of like hastily went through it because it wasn't in order. Um, but it was like I saw some episode names that were like more recent for us than you would think. It's like I don't remember him in that, but it is what it is. He's just his presence is missed by
Mm.
me, and we will be getting him back as soon as he's done with that John Wayne movie.
That John Wayne movie that no one remembers.
That if you've seen the Green Berets, comment below and say
Yeah.
whether or not I should watch it. I'm curious.
Tell us whether or not it was a good decision for for George Takei to space out and go to do
Well,
this movie.
it was because he wasn't here, and this was a bad time.
Sure, true. Anyway, they scan some weird energy readings and they see a black splotch hovering in space, is how I've chosen
Yeah,
to describe this thing.
somebody wiped that off the camera lens.
Kirk says it looks like a hole, and I guess maybe that's what it's supposed to look like. To me, it looks just like a stain or something. It's a blob.
What I called it in my notes is a spoiler
Fair
for
enough.
what it is.
And it's right where the Intrepid was. They launch a probe at it, and it makes a really terrible sound, and they immediately lose contact with it. The sound almost knocks out Uhura, and then Bones says that half of the people got knocked out by the sound, and the rest are in sickbay with like irritability and fatigue. And I was like, did this splotch use Conqueror's hockey?
Yes, it did. There was a bit here because Uhura on the bridge definitely takes it the worst out of anybody.
Yeah.
And then when we see Medbay, it's mostly women, if not all women. So I'm like, is there a thing here? Did it affect the women
It did because it was the
worse?
60s.
And then, yeah, I'm realizing
Yeah.
now that it did affect the women worse because they're, according to probably the scriptwriter, the weaker sex.
Yeah.
So,
According to the scriptwriter of the Jack the Ripper episode.
damn it, he's back.
He's back.
We don't know
That
if that's
son
true.
of a bitch, maybe. So Kirk and Spock talk about the blotch. Spock says he doesn't know what it is, so they're like, okay, well, tell me what it's not. And Spock says it's not solid, liquid, or gas, which, like, in the 60s would have been really spooky, but now it's like, well, we have other states of matter, so it's probably just like
Damn it.
plasma or something. He says it's some kind of energy and that it likely killed an entire system and the Intrepid. So they creep up on it.
Nice.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. And it makes the bad sound again, which they say is not coming from the communications, which seems to imply that the thing is just in space screaming, but like in space, no one can hear you scream unless you're a blob.
But he's built different.
He's just built different. Scotty says that they've lost 5% of the ship's power for a reason that he doesn't seem to understand. And then Bones comes up and starts giving the bridge crew stimulants to keep them awake because they're like getting drained of their own energy.
This is a go-to strat that the Enterprise has been dealing with this season.
Yeah, sharing needles.
Is drugs. Like, oh, we don't know how to handle this. Drugs.
Yeah. I'm not a doctor, but the thing that really got me about it was like, oh, we're just going from person to person using the same hypo on all of them.
You know what it is? I'm gonna solve it. I'm gonna solve that for you. It's one of those, those pens that have the black and the red and the
Oh,
blue
sure.
and the green.
Yeah.
Yeah, is what. So every single injection has like 40 different needles it can cycle through.
Sure. I'll take that. Why not?
Yeah, yeah. I just solved
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
We fixed
Yeah,
Star Trek.
I fixed
That's
it.
what I'm
You're
titling
welcome.
the episode. We fixed Star Trek. That's going to
You're
go really
welcome,
over well
everyone.
with the crew.
You're welcome.
But before he can get to one of the crewmates, he just like fully passes out, which doesn't seem to matter. It's an unnamed guy who sucks. So, but hey, we had one guy pass out, so we're not completely sexist.
It just means it's getting worse.
Yeah.
And
Spock's,
how Uhura is still standing? Goodness me, she's
well,
the strongest woman on this ship.
she's got the will of D. So
Yes, she does.
Spock, or I don't know her first name. What's Uhura's first name?
Oh, they do say that. I don't remember though.
Spock says they don't know anything about this thing.
Neota.
Neota?
Neota.
Neota D Uhura.
Nyota D or yeah, it would be Uhura D Nyota.
Is it her first name? Oh, but Japanese names. You're right.
Yes, yeah, there you go.
Spock says they don't know anything about this thing other than that they get weaker and it gets stronger the closer they get to the source. Bones says that they should just, hey, bro, what if we leave? And Kirk's like, and then Bones leaves, and Kirk subtweets him on main. Is like,
Hmm.
we can't just leave. We're all cool. And it's like, you could have just said that to Bones. He was right here a second ago.
He gives a not very good pep talk to the crew.
Yeah, he's like, we're the best. If we die, it's because we're the best.
If
Basically,
he kind of just says, "I know this sucks, but just do your job."
um,
That's a 5 out of 10. That if I'm working Black Friday
right.
and my manager says, "I know this sucks, but at least you're here with us on Thanksgiving."
When
Well, fuck that, dude.
when I worked at Target,
Yeah.
I heard rumors that on Black Friday the general manager did cocaine like every year, and so I quit before Black Friday.
Oh, nice. I have worked exactly one Black Friday on retail. It was a nightmare. It was bad, but nobody died in our store, so that's
Pretty good. Well, Black Friday's not what it used to be. People aren't murdering each other for a tickle me elbow anymore.
true. Yeah, I wasn't at Toys R Us too, so that's.
Dangerous.
Mhm.
And then Bones, presumably mad for getting subtweeted, calls back up and says, "Hey, our readings are saying that we're fucking dying."
Oh, good, we're dying.
Oh, good, great, wonderful. After a break, the captain's log says that they are looking for a way to protect themselves from the energy drain. Spoilers: they never find it. They try to back out, but the ship. Well, hey, cool, we're doing it now. They try to back
Mhm.
out, but the ship moves forward when they try to move backward. So then they're like, okay, well, what if we try to move backward? And instead the ship slows down. They're like, well, that's fucking weird. Also, when they start slowing down, the people in medbay stabilize because I actually don't know why. I guess because they're not getting closer, so they're not getting worse.
No, I think when they're slowing down, does that imply because the thing, as we learn, is vampiring energy
Yeah,
out of everything that it's around.
right.
So was it taking more energy from the ship and not the people, maybe?
It could also be in a second here. Spock is like, oh, we haven't died yet because the thing's full, so maybe it just like coincidentally got full at the same time.
So they tried to speed up the ship. They tried to maneuver the ship, which had energy output, which filled the beast's belly,
I guess.
and then the people were able to stop dying a little bit for a second.
I'm okay with calling that what it is. I I couldn't possibly know, but sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They have an officers meeting where they talk about how the thing drains energy and is surrounded by a negative energy field, which Spock is like, but that can't possibly exist, except it does.
Mhm.
And they
Stupid.
and they plan to make one big push forward to go back to get out. Spock says the Intrepid would have done all of this too, but they might not have because their logic would have made it hard for them to deal with the illogical situation. I guess I don't know.
How come?
I don't really
How
understand what
come
they were trying to say here.
you? Do you think Vulcan ships? So the Enterprise has,
Yeah,
I guess, mostly humans, but then in this is I think Spock's the only non-human crew member.
yeah.
I know when we get to like the Abrams movies, there's a shit ton of different.
We got aliens all
The
up in this
the
place.
the bridge looks like the Star Wars cantina. How many different aliens there are?
Right.
But what I was gonna say is, do you think Vulcan Federation ships have one human officer that they just don't listen to?
Yeah, probably. Honestly, why not? I think it looks exactly like the Enterprise, but the engines on the back are bigger and point up.
Oh, because their ears.
Yeah.
That's good.
Anyway, they go to the bridge and try to do that thing I said where they blast forward, and the whole ship shakes like fucking crazy, and it doesn't work. And now they have a 2 hour clock before they run out of energy. Also, is this the one or do they shake again later? At one point they shake super fucking hard, and a blue shirt guy
Oh my god, I
throws
saw this
himself
guy.
bodily over a railing and does like a full fucking flip. And I'm like, all right, I hope that
He was
fucker
trying
got
to get
paid.
he was trying to get workers comp.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna be a regular. They're gonna have me in the background of everything.
I'm gonna be the third Kyle.
I'm gonna be Kyle XY. Anyway, now we have a 2 hour clock before we run out of energy. That's basically the thing doesn't work, and now we're fucked. It is where it comes
Mhm.
down. Spock says he doesn't know what's doing this, but but it found them, and then they look out the window, and there's a weird pink glowy splotch out there that in a minute they're gonna say is an amoeba, and it objectively does not actually look like an amoeba. It
No,
looks
it looks like a cell.
not even really. It's like too jagged. Like no cell is shaped like that I'm aware of.
Sure, but it's like
Also,
opaque and it has the nucleus,
the
so it's
nucleus,
like
but the
it's what it's
nucleus looks
supposed to.
weird. Maybe that's the new effects. The nucleus looks
Well,
like a hole. It doesn't look like a
well,
organelle. It looks like a hole in the fucking thing. It looks like a
well,
mouth.
Daniel. It's a giant space thing, so it doesn't need to look exactly like a cell. But
Well, why they're gonna call it an amoeba? I'm just saying.
it's
It's not my fault that they call it that Spock doesn't know what an amoeba is. It's not my fault that I'm smarter than Spock.
that's true. That's yeah. Go ahead and put that on the Reddit, the Star
Yeah,
Trek
do
Reddit.
it, fuckers. They then they then shoot a probe at it, and they find out that it's alive. And after another break, Bones is showing them a video of an amoeba, and they're like, "Hey, that's an amoeba." So hey, we're caught up to what we just said a second ago.
This is a
Uh,
big fucking
it's
amoeba.
a big fucking amoeba. It's I think they say at one point it's like 11 miles long or some shit.
No, 11,000 miles long.
11,000 miles long, even
There's
worse.
a bit of a difference.
No, it's a little bit. They say they need to send a shuttle into it to learn more about it, and then they fight about who should be a big dumb martyr and die in the process because they're like pretty sure that's what's going to happen. Kirk
Well,
ponders it in his room for a while, to his computer, of course, so that we can hear. And he eventually decides to send Spock because he's the most qualified, which, like, is probably true.
yeah, I don't think it came down to a moment of the big three
Yeah,
being like, well, it's got to be one of us, and Bones is like, I can do it because I can do it, and Spock's
yeah.
like, no, the fuck you can't. And Kirk's like, well, I can do it, and they said, shut up, you're the captain, you need to stay here, and he's like, all right, you got me.
They're like either of us can do this, but neither of us can do what you do in the bridge, basically.
That's probably true. Um, so it's a real Mass Effect choose who to go in the pipe situation.
Right. And you're
And
like,
if you choose wrong, they're gonna get shot in the face.
so Spock asks Bone to wish him luck. It's actually a really good bit. It's like maybe one of my favorite bits of the show so far, where he's
Yeah.
like, he's like, hey man, like I am better at this. It's gonna be really scary. I'm probably gonna like. He basically is like, I'm probably gonna fucking die.
Hmm.
And Bones says something where he's like, oh, something to the effect of like, oh, that's ridiculous or something. And then Spock is like, well, then give me one of your like human idioms or something like wish me luck. And he's like, I won't do it. And then he walks over to the fucking Galileo, the most cursed ship in the Federation.
Oh no! Don't
Uh,
take it.
and as soon as the door like closes behind him, Bones is like, good luck. And I'm like, just tell him you love him. Just tell him
No,
you love him.
no Vulcan kissing on my ship.
It was a really good bit. It's like one of my favorite bits of the show so far. Definitely my favorite Bones bit.
Yeah, I agree. My favorite Spock bit of the whole show is coming up in a second.
Uh, Spock says the
He
area.
has the greatest quote in all of Star Trek.
Is it when Spock says the area of penetration will be sensitive?
He said the area of penetration will no but doubt be sensitive. That's Hall of hang that in the rafters. That one.
Yeah. Then so okay, so he's doing that. He says that, and then the shuttle hits the thing and it shakes real bad, and it throws him to the ground. But then he calls back and he's like, "Not dead. Cool." I also noted this Galileo's interior is different than the other one. The other one like had a lot more room for like sitting, and this one maybe it's all the science shit that they threw in there to scan the bitch, but it's different. It's a different ship on the inside. Spock starts scanning it, and he heads for the nucleus, but he says that the thing is prepared to reproduce. He says it's gotten enough energy basically to reproduce, and everyone's like, "Oh fuck, two of them? That's 22,000 miles of amoeba." And then they lose contact with Spock, but he finds a way to contact them first by, I guess, doing something inside that makes it shake again. So that Kirk is like, he's not dead. He did a thing. He stabbed its side or something to make it shake. I don't remember what he says. And then he uses
Spock's just on an episode of the Magic School Bus.
he's on X Games mode, and it's all science all the way down. But he finds some new like low energy way to reach them, but the communication is super weak, so it's like stuttery and shitty. Which is unfortunate because he then tells them how to kill it, and they don't actually hear how to kill it.
I do like that they, over the course of the next couple minutes, just read out facts and then slowly convince themselves, like, all right, we can,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
let's
can do
just
that.
kill this thing. Let's just kill it. Sounds right. I
What
mean,
if
if we don't kill it, so something bad's
hey
gonna happen, probably.
hey what if we just kill this dude?
Just fucking kill this guy.
What's that quote that Christians always say?
Uh
I think it's got honky in it.
oh, it's the Norm Macdonald. Hey,
Yeah,
bro, let's kill this honky bitch.
and we can say that because honky's a white guy.
Yeah, we're not gonna say the context of the rest of the joke.
I don't know it, so I couldn't.
It's
I only know it because Christian says it so much.
uh,
It's okay. You
I'll
don't have
tell
to
you
say
later.
it.
I'll tell you later.
If you know the
But I
context,
won't.
comment below.
But for those of you who do know, when I tell him later, I won't quote it exactly. I promise.
It's got a slur. In Kirk's room, Kirk and Bones talk about how this thing is a virus of infecting the universe, and they're like, well, maybe we can be the antibodies destroying the virus from the inside or some shit. Uh, Kirk then tells Scotty to divert all powers to the shield because we're going in, baby. And they let themselves get pulled in and they crash. And this is where that guy throws himself over the banister. It turns out, as according to my
Mm-hmm.
notes,
Mm-hmm.
and I assume broke his fibula. I picked a bone. They
I think he just
decide
did it twice. I think it was earlier too. I think he did it 2 times.
he couldn't have possibly. He'd be dead.
Maybe it was a different blue guy.
It's just a different blue guy.
Yeah, they had to replace him.
They decide to make an antimatter bomb, basically. They're like, this thing absorbs energy, so if we use anti-energy, we can kill it with an anti-bomb. And they're like, what would that be? Oh, antimatter. Hey, we've got that. We
Yeah,
used it to travel through time. Clearly, it'll kill an amoeba.
hell yeah.
Uh, but they need to get all the way to the nucleus before they do, or they might miss because, like, the thing isn't full of, it's not space. It's full of protoplasm, I guess. So they're like, oh, it's got like goo. So the goo has currents, and the currents, it doesn't matter. They're like, we got to get close, so we can't shoot it yet. That's all that matters. On the Galileo, Spock starts like sort of writing a will, and he's like, he's basically just like, hey, everyone on the Enterprise is dope, and I love them. And again, it's like a pretty good moment. I think this is truly the closest the crew has been to fucking dying.
Probably.
They're like seconds away from just having all of their energy drained.
I mean, let's think. Some of the crew got pretty damn close in the Doomsday Machine.
True.
Uh, they were in trouble in
In Little China.
Balance of Terror is what I was gonna say.
Mm.
They've definitely had, but this one, I think, as far as like time on the clock left, I think it probably might be the closest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And Kirk does kind of the same, and he basically recommends all of the main characters for
And
commendations
Kyle.
after they die, and Kyle, but not Sulu, who it doesn't work here
No,
today.
Officer Kyle got a commendation because he actually showed up to work and wasn't filming a John Wayne movie.
Yeah, and you know what? And I respect him for it.
Yeah, I mean,
Where's Kyle in the movies? I know
but
he.
we don't
I'm
know.
sure he doesn't.
We
Come
still
back.
don't know if this is our same Kyle though.
It's hard. It's hard. I don't know. I don't know. He doesn't. He doesn't look the same to me. But most of the times that I remember seeing Transporter Chief Kyle, it's from the back. So
But does Transporter Chief Kyle wear a red shirt?
they change. You know what I mean? I'm
But
pretty sure.
Helmsman Kyle
Where's
wears
the
a
yellow
yellow
shirt?
shirt.
Yeah.
So either it's the same dude switching shirts depending on what job he's got that
Where
day.
the fuck is DeSalle?
Oh, I don't. He died. I don't know.
He was in charge of the ship one time. Where the fuck is he?
That was only because in the '60s we couldn't trust a black woman to do it.
Well, he's a white man. Where is he during the amoeba problem?
He died because he's actually turns out not as trustworthy as the black woman.
I mean, that goes without a doubt, especially
Uhura,
because the black woman's Uhura.
let Uhura take control of the ship is what I'm saying.
We live in a weird world. Where is DeSalle? Put out the milk
Want me to-
cartons with DeSalle's face on it.
I'm gonna Google that. Where is DeSalle?
Yeah, just with no context. Don't even put Star Trek.
I don't know how to spell his name. Pennsylvania.
Okay, great.
That's the answer.
Okay. If you're listening to this from DeSalle, Pennsylvania,
It's a It's a university in Pennsylvania.
As the Enterprise gets close, they find the Galileo and they try to make a grab for it with the tractor beams. And Spork is like, "Don't do it, you'll die." And Bones is like, "Shut the fuck up!" And then they do the
Yeah.
meme, and then Kirk
Shut up.
does the head like nod meme.
Yeah.
It's
He
great. The
says,
one
"Shut
that
up,
you see.
Spock. We're rescuing you."
He's like, "Ah,
Which
fuck. Guess I would live."
which I wrote as probably my favorite Bones moment.
It's really
But
good.
the other one's really good too. It's just a
Yeah,
good episode for Bones, I
it's
guess.
a good Bones episode, and we don't get a lot of those. Unfortunately, he's usually trying to like
No,
be creepy to a lady or punching a horse.
yeah, we'll get more. I believe it.
And then the episode just kind of fucking ends. Like they get him in the tractor beam, and then the bomb goes off, and then the thing doesn't really die. It just kind of disappears. Like you would think a big
Yes.
amoeba like popping or something would like shoot goo all over the unit. It just
No,
disappears.
we don't have the effects for that.
Yeah, so I don't know what any of that is, but it's dead, I guess. And they scoop up Spock, and they finally head to get some well earned rest. What a thick
Yeah.
wicket, and that's the
And
immunity syndrome, baby.
right before the credits roll, Kirk's like, "What's missing from this episode?" "Oh, me being pervy." And then he like makes allusions to sleeping with one of his fucking workers.
But not Uhura. We can't do that yet.
No, 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 no.
No, no, no. Hey, you got any trivia about this weird amoeba blob?
I got a handful of things. So the amoeba, the effects for the amoeba itself was a mixture of liquids pressed between two thin sheets of glass. Basically, your typical microscope effect.
Sure.
As the sheets were moved, the liquid would flow, and as if the amoeba was pulsating. And the same technique was used to present psychedelic light shows in the 60s.
Ooh,
So
psychedelic.
how fun is that? This is the last episode that was directed by Joseph Pevney, who has tied the record of fellow Star Trek director Mark Daniels. They both hold the record for each directing 14 episodes
Mm.
out of 70. That's not that high.
Not super, but
They need to try harder. Back then, what are they doing? Here's the real trivia that matters. This is the last time
ooh.
that Kirk wore his green wraparound tunic.
What? He loves that thing. That's his
He
favorite
does.
shirt. He wears
That
it
is his. He wears it more than he's supposed to.
even though it's supposed to be like a casual dress shirt. He wears it to important shit all the time.
Now, the good news is this won't actually be the last time we see it,
Uh,
because the last time we'll see it is in an episode called "Bread and Circuses," which it didn't air until a year after it was filmed.
mm. I thought you were gonna say just like somebody else was wearing it, like we just recycled it on a different character.
Chekhov starts wearing it, like, "Look at me, I'm the captain," and they shoot him.
Yeah, into the
Yeah,
sun.
probably. And
He's like, actually,
then
this shirt was invented in Russia.
and then keeping true to everything we know about the character of James T. Kirk and the character of William Shatner himself, the final bit where Kirk starts eyeing a crew member and talking about get some rest on a lovely planet.
Mm-hmm.
Not scripted. Shatner just did that.
Of course he did. I'll be honest
Yeah.
with you. I must have been taking notes at that time. Didn't even notice that he did it.
Yeah.
What a creepo. But I guess we love him for it.
Sure. I mean, not maybe not for it, in
Just
spite of it.
in spite of it. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Skylar, how do you feel about that time that we penetrated a sensitive amoeba?
I don't know if this is a controversial take. This might be. Let me check. 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 Ooh, this might be a top 5 for season 2 that we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, probably.
Um, the only question is Journey to Babel is what I have at my number 5 right now.
Journey to Babel is pretty. I have not been ranking them as we went.
I just throw them in every time we.
Journey to Babel is really good, and we get a lot of like, we see Spock's parents and shit, and that's great. I think that
Yeah.
this does more for me because I'm more invested in the characters' relationships with each other, and this does a lot more for
Mhm.
that personally.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think I would probably put it above Journey to Babel, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd have to I'll have to actually go through and rank them myself at some point, probably by the time we get to the end of season 2.
We'll hit them when we finish season 1. We had our top 5.
Yeah.
So by then we'll have our top 5 for this, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this one. I thought it was fun when I saw the note that this was a bottle episode, that they had like hit a ceiling for their budget, and so they're like, you can't go anywhere, just film on the ship. Like there's no exterior anything. Obviously we have updated effects of like what the amoeba looks like and what uh Spock's doing on the Galileo, which I can't believe people are still using that fucking thing.
It's cursed.
But yeah, despite it not literally going anywhere, I like it. There's good character stuff. There's good stakes. I like just the premise of, oh fuck, we found this massive thing out in space and it's dangerous as hell.
Mm-hmm.
How do we deal with it? Well, you blow it up. But they do it. So it's
I like a lot of this episode. I think that this is, for me, sort of like quintessential Star Trek. We get a lot of good character interaction between the crew members, which is what, probably my favorite thing about having an ensemble cast is we, actually fucking use them. Everyone gets something to do except Sulu, who's not here. Even Kyle gets something to do, sort of. So cool. Good for him.
I don't necessarily anticipate this remaining in the top 5. We still have 8 episodes of season 2 left.
Sure, yeah, I don't know what any of those are.
So anything could, especially if I slot this into the number 5 spot, anything could bump this out. But I like this. It's an engage.
For sure, absolutely an engage for me as well. Hey guys, did you like this episode or the one before or any episode coming up that you want to tell us to be excited for or warn us about? Tell us about Spock's brain. Everyone keeps telling me that one's ass. You can leave a comment about all of those things, or just, how are you doing today? How are you feeling today? In the comments, either on Spotify or YouTube. Those are the 2 places we are, and you're watching us on one of them, presumably. So go to the other one and leave a comment there as well, and hit subscribe. We need all the engagement we can get. You can follow the show on Twitter at @RSR_POD. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McGee.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skylar8bit.
And until next time, everybody, let's see what's out there. What a great...
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip back in time where things